Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and today I am so excited because as things are coming to a wrap up at the end of the year, I know a lot of you are possibly talking to your CPAs, financial advisors, looking for all those different areas where you're possibly like, gosh, like maybe your practice is freaking thriving and you're looking for, hey, it's end of year. What can I do? How can I maximize my practice? What are some options? Or maybe you're on the other end where you're like, gosh, 2024 was such a hard year for me. And so I just wanted to pop on and let you know 3 ways that a consultant can help your practice either thrive or come back from surviving into thriving. Because oftentimes we don't realize that consulting can actually propel our practices forward. It's also a complete tax write-off for most practices, which is great if you're thriving and you need to find ways to spend cash and be able to get through the end of the year. Consulting is actually a great option that a lot of offices do, whether it's a pay in full option or whether it's monthly payments, or even some offices will pay 50% end of year and then 50% throughout the rest of the year. So a lot of great options. But the reality is that I love about consulting is I like to invest in things that move me forward. So at the end of most years, I'm looking for what's an area or a gap that I have in my business, whether that's in my marketing department or my sales department or my dentist, like what dentisting things can we bring to the practice? But every single thing that I'm adding into my practice, I want to make sure is going to give me an ROI. So an ROI is a return on investment. And I don't like to buy things that are just cash. So looking at like, if we were, for example, to say buy a car, well, what's the ROI that that's going to bring money into my practice? Probably nothing. In Dental A Team, our clients tend to see a 10 to 30% increase in revenue and at least a 5 to 10% decrease in overhead. Now, it is a two-way street. We can give every tool and resource, but if clients don't execute, then they're obviously not going to see the same results. However, clients who do implement and do receive the results, they actually see incredible value. So we have offices like this year that have added 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000, multiple millions to their schedules by working with us. We have other offices that have decreased their overhead. I had one office at the beginning of the year start out at 75% overhead, and they are now down to 53% overhead with intentionality, leadership put into place where their team is actually looking at the numbers and viewing the practice in a way of as a business, not necessarily just as a practice. And so being able to find something where if we spend, let's say, 20,000, can they give me at least 20,000 back and or more? So 40,000, 50,000, can I get a return on my investment is a really great thing to look. Other examples are like CBCT scans. Like, can you add that in? And how many CBCTs could we do and give better patient care with purchasing these items? Maybe looking for an implant course that we could attend. Maybe looking for CE, but really doing something that's for our team and for every person on our practice to elevate. And that's actually something I love about Dental A Team is we aren't just focused on the doctors. I think going to all these events as business owners, I found that the hardest thing for me is when I show up to an event and then I have to come home and bring it back to my team. And it's like, I'm all ramped up and amped up, but the team didn't necessarily get the same excitement that I did. The team wasn't in on all those meetings and different pieces with me. And so therefore I feel like, gosh, like this is sometimes hard to get the buy-in. And so when we built Dental A Team, I said, hey, what we're actually going to do is we're going to build a company where we coach the doctors and we coach the team together. So doctors, we hear your plan of your vision. We help you build that vision. And then team members, we help you implement and execute and build leadership teams and train your team on the billing and the tactical and all the systems. But we're helping you build the business, the practice of your dreams to be able to give the patient care and the team experience that you desire. And so thinking of those things, and that's kind of where I just wanted to pop in of like, whether your practice is thriving and you're like, hey, what's it going to take us to the next level? I might consider consulting as an option. Or if you're like, gosh, like, could this CE course move us forward? Possibly. But like I have offices that go to CE courses like sleep. How do you get your team bought into that? How do you and how do we know the CE to implement or not implement? Sometimes having a consultant or a coach can help actually get you more revenue, more value, more buy-in because they're helping guide and coach the team. And Dental A Team truly is experts at this. And so it's something really fun. So I just wanted to kind of give like some areas where if you're looking for that way to get some money off of your books, consider consulting, consider something that's going to move you forward. Or whether you're looking for like, gosh, this year was really, really hard for me. We need to figure out those gaps. Either end of that spectrum, I do believe that consultants can help. And when you're looking for a consultant, some great things to look for are number one, Has that consultant or consulting company been there, done that, and done that successfully in your situation? Have they coached and consulted offices like yours? Do they have testimonials of offices like you? Do they know where you want to go, and do they have the path that they can show you of where you want to go? So if you're looking for, I want to sell to a DSO in the next 5 years, do they know how to do that, and have they helped other clients successfully? If you're like, nope, I want to be in my practice for the next 20 years and I want to have a legacy practice, have they done that for other people? If you're wanting to expand and buy multi-practices, have they done that? If you're wanting to get your office manager to be doing all the pieces, have they done that? If you're wanting to add in a leadership team so that way everything's not on your shoulders, has that consultant done that and done that successfully? Have they been in your shoes? And for me, I like it when they'll, like, selfishly, as a business owner, I'm busy. The last thing I want to do is have to go and like learn from my consultant and then go implement it with my team. I really love to have a consultant who teaches me and my team simultaneously. It feels like it allows me to like multiply and double myself rather than trying to do it myself, because I feel like there's so much on owners. And so that's something that I just think is niche. None of my coaches coach by team, and I really wish that they would, because it'd be so much easier to have somebody else besides me coach and educate and get them excited rather than it all leaning on my shoulders. So when we built Dental A Team, that was something I was adamant about of, I want to make these dentists' lives easier. I want to make the team's lives easier. I want to be that bridge between doctor and team member and helping us all align and be on the same page. So as you're looking at it and just thinking, that's how you're going to vet for a really good consultant. Also look to see who is that consultant and do they align with where you want to go? Do they have the same principles, the same values? So for me, ours is we want to positively impact the world of dentistry in the greatest way possible. And I don't believe that dentistry is what makes you your person. I believe it can be a great portion of your identity, but I believe that your life and your family and your hobbies and who you are as a person is the most important. So ours is the yes model. It's you as a person we focus on, and what your life, your dream, your team, who you are as people. Then we focus on E for earnings and profitability and making sure that you're profitable as a company. And then S stands for systems and team development. Do we have the systems to run and we're not dependent upon team members so that way teams can go on vacation, they can have fun. And as we grow and expand, and or if we lose team members or we need to hire new team members, we have a system and process where it's system dependent, not team dependent. I say it's system dependent, it's team implemented, and adds the sprinkles and the sparkles with the team flair to it. So we have tried and true systems that we're going to then be able to go in. What are you looking for? Are you looking for someone who comes in and they are A to Z cookbook and they give you the systems that way? Or are you looking for someone who's going to be more collaborative with you and hear what you want and then be able to add in different pieces for it? What are you looking for and what are the results? And then do their results speak for themselves? Can they tell you consistently they hit this? Do you want a doctor community? Do you want a team community? Do you want to go in person and go to events and masterminds, or do you want to have it virtual? How do you want this to work out? And so really looking at those options are going to be pieces to look for. In Dental A Team, we heard what you guys were saying, where you said, we want in-person masterminds. We want to network with these other doctors. We want to learn. And so come 2025, welcome. We are going to be meeting you all in person with an elite leadership retreat where it's doctors and leaders coming together. So doctors and their office manager, doctors and their associate partners coming together and really masterminding on your life, on your practice, and on your business, having great time where we actually like hot seat on your business and we work on your life and you workshop for a day and a half and meet incredible people. We also are working with your team simultaneously. So what you're learning in person, we're going to be able to help take back to your team. So we still lift that, training your team members for you, putting pieces into play. And we also have for newer practices that might need just like the foundations and building blocks of a business, where we do it in a group setting where every single month there's a new system that you can implement while also having access to the consultants every single week. So different ways and different pieces and what that looks like for you as consulting. And then let's just think of like, what are some different ways that a practice, like truly a consultant, should and could help you go to thriving rather than just surviving. And some of the things is like, I think one of the greatest things we do is find the small little areas to make your life exponentially more efficient, whether that's from handoffs, collections, the way we set up our statements, the way we do our confirmations, the way we build our schedules, the way we do our handoffs, like those very small little pieces. People ask me all the time, Kiera, how are you able to like add 30,000 to a schedule in one day? And I'm like, honestly, it's from handoffs, morning huddles, and collecting at the end of the day. Like that's all it is. It's nothing hard. It's nothing crazy. But when we get a whole team bought into this process and this system, then the system flows and moves. So it's very simple. So things that I think are super important is, can we look and maximize your schedule for increased production? I love to do less work and get more gain. And so how can we work less and make more? Like, how can we do that and give better VIP patient care? And so I love helping people build out block schedules. Like, I was talking to an office earlier and they said, Kiera, should we expand our practice? And I said, well, like, let's look at where you're at, and are you maximizing all of what we already have, or should we go and like spend more money on it? And so many people don't realize, like, what we already have, we could like wring it out, squeeze it out a little bit more, and there's no extra cost to the practice, but there's actually little efficiencies that we can put into place. One of my favorite examples is I walked into an office and they're like, Kiera, we know we need more space. We have no more space for patients in this practice. And we know we need to have a bigger building. Like, we're already, like, we've got land. We're already building the other building. Like, that's our biggest problem. Within about 15 minutes of working with this office, I was able to find where they could add another operatory. They added another operatory and we were exponentially able to increase their practice, but they were so closed because they thought that there's no possible way for us to add anything else into this practice. And yet sometimes just having another set of eyes outside is able to help you see what truly is possible. And so that's something that I'm obsessed with, that I love. We're able to add hundreds of thousands to this practice and serve more patients while their other building was being built. It made it a smoother transition as they moved into the next location. And really, we ramped up their handoffs, their doctor exams, little small things, tracking our treatment so doctors know what they're diagnosing, tracking our case acceptance, looking to see, are there little ways we can do it? I have an office that we've added multi-millions to in the course of working with them. And everyone's like, how have you done it? And they said, we hired this coach. And this coach coaches all of our treatment coordinators. And our treatment coordinators then learn little ways to say things, different ways to present things. They're an incredible office at implementing and executing, but it's in these small little verbiage tips that are able to help them. And so how can we maximize your practice for exponential growth, but do it in the easiest way? Let's not come in and change everything. Let's look for the tiny little things. So number one that I feel like a consultant really can do, of the 3 ways they can maximize and optimize your practice from thriving to thriving or surviving to thriving, is 1, maximizing your practice for optimal. Like I said, looking for those little spots where if we just do 1 or 2 little changes, a little verbiage change here, a little collection here, a little change in our scheduling and block scheduling, we really truly can actually make your practice so much more profitable. And something I'm very big on, one of our core values, is ease. How can we make this so easy for our practices that the team's excited to implement it, the office is excited, and it gets us the great result of helping more patients? So that would be number 1 of ways that I think a consultant truly can help you thrive in 2025. Number 2, consultants are really able to take the numbers of a business and translate them into action to help your practice grow. So many dentists come to us and so many office managers come to us and they have no idea how to read a P&L. They don't understand what KPI should be. They don't understand how to use the metrics, the numbers of the business as levers in the business of, okay, if we increase this, we can decrease this, and we can actually get more of what we're looking for. They have no idea how to do it. And the honest reality is, that's okay. You didn't go to dental school to learn business, but a consultant, and a really educated consultant, can actually help you translate those numbers into action. And so what I'm obsessed with doing is teaching our offices and our leadership teams, let's look at the numbers. Let's figure this out. What should our payroll be? What should our supplies be? What should our labs be? How can we make 1 or 2 changes? Do we need to increase our production? Do we need to increase our collections? Do we need to decrease our costs? What is it going to be? And then teaching the team, like the leadership team and our doctors, to look at the numbers and say, I love numbers and numbers love me. Because when we can look at the numbers and get so obsessed and excited about these numbers of what's our overhead, what's our profitability, what are our metrics, and how can we translate this into helping more patients, teams then start to look at it and put the puzzle pieces together. For me, numbers are just puzzle pieces. And like, how can we put the puzzle pieces together to make this incredible practice grow and thrive and be able to serve and help more patients? So it's something I am obsessed about, because if we can get this dialed in for them, guess what? They're going to be able to freaking thrive. They're going to be able to look at the numbers, but not just looking at the numbers, but taking it into action. So if our overhead's high, what do we need to do? A lot of consultants come in and they want to cut. My goal is to not cut unless we're like overspending on supplies. And then all we need to do is put a supply tracker into place, and bada bing, bada boom, it's all fixed. People now know how much we can budget. You empower them, you teach them, they fill it in. Our supplies are instantly fixed. Same thing with our lab supplies. They can get fixed very quickly. So when we look at it and we can just give them the empowerment, give them a simple spreadsheet, give them a simple worksheet, give them the tools and the levers, teams now get excited about it. And I have teams, and it was so fun. I was on a call, and one of the teams is like, well, we are thinking about this and we're not sure that we want to do this because when we're looking at the numbers, we realize this. And I wanted to cry because when the team is looking at the numbers like a business owner and they're seeing, hey, do we really need to hire this other employee? Or is that going to impact our overhead? And could we band together? And do we want to do this? Or is this something that's a nice to have, but not a must have? Or is it, no, this is a must have. And if we hire this other person, this is how many more patients we should be able to serve. And it should translate into these kind of goals. And so many people are like, Kiera, there's no freaking way that you could ever get my team to be that way. And I say, try me. Like, truly, I'm very confident in what we do because as a team member myself, I didn't understand numbers. As an owner, like the most liberating day of my life was when I realized that numbers are a superpower and not something to beat myself with. Like when I realized the numbers are truly the treasure map. Like if I'm looking for the clues to success, look at your numbers, look at where you are. You will literally see what you need to do to be able to move forward. And that's something that I think is so empowering, so inviting. And when we can teach doctors and owners and teams to look at their numbers and turn it into actionable help for your practice, you're able to truly thrive. And now success is not something that just is happenstance. Success is something that's very predictable that you can do. So using your numbers would be number 2 that I think great consultants can do for you and your team. And then number 3 that I think a consultant really can help you do. So number 1, like we said, was optimizing the efficiencies within your practice, finding those pieces. Number 2 is translating your numbers into actionable ways to help your practice and getting your whole team to be able to see these numbers of the yardstick of success of how many patients we're able to help and serve. Number 3 would be setting and achieving goals. I think setting goals is always tricky. I think figuring out projections, I think it's hard when you look at the schedule and you're like, I don't even know what I should set my goals. And I want to take vacations, but I can't take vacations. And I'm stuck here and I'm not able to have the family life I want. And I say again, it's back to the puzzle pieces of numbers and schedules and being able to set realistic goals for your practice. So I tell our offices, I tell my doctors, I don't care what schedule you want to have. I don't care if you want to be off at 3:00. I don't care if you want to work 3 days a week. I don't care if you want to take 6 weeks of vacation, like whatever you want. Let's just tell me. And then let's plug it in and let's figure out how we're able to use our practice and use our schedule and use our team in a way that's going to fulfill all the needs and the wants of the practice. It's so doable. And I think that that's what's so fun for me is to set these goals and to help practices and teams reach higher potential than they ever imagined that they could have. I remember getting a text from one of my doctors that we coach, and he said, Kiera, when you came into our practice and you set a goal of X amount, this practice, they were producing about 200,000, and we looked at it, we figured out the schedule, we did the block scheduling, we optimized the schedule. Again, going back to the number 1, optimizing little areas of efficiency for maximum impact. The doctor said, you came in and you said we should be able to produce 300,000 a month. And the doctor said, I did not believe you for 1 second. And he said, and what's crazy is we did 300,000 our first month. We did 305 our next month. We did 310 our third month. And to see them going from 200,000 to 300,000 felt like something that they had never done before. And so helping offices turn dreams into a reality is what lights my freaking soul on fire. Because when I can help you see that like the numbers are there and the schedule is there and all we need to do is bring the pieces together, and you're able to have the dream life that you want, to have the family time that you want, to have the practice that you want. Yes, there are areas where we're maybe going to need to make a sacrifice, or we realize, okay, you want to do this? Let's maybe hire an associate, or we think outside the box. But really, I believe like my passion is life and my platform is dentistry. And so helping dentists have the life that they want, and having teams have the life that they want is where my life goal and passion is as a consultant. Because helping so many people achieve this. Like I have doctors, and when I met them, we were producing 150 and now we're producing 500,000 a month. And the reality is that practice did not believe that this would even be possible. And now they're hitting goals and objectives that they never believed were possible. And they're stretching the envelope and they're figuring it out and they're serving more patients and they're helping more patients and they're truly being the dentist that the community chooses. When I see offices having that and the dentist is having their dream life and they're having more free space for admin time in their world and their team, their leadership team is taking it on, that's when I feel like we've made it. We've made it for that office. When I have another office and they tell me, Kiera, every year you do the projections with us, we take it to our CPA and they laugh at us of like, you've got to be crazy. There's no way you're going to hit those numbers. And every year we hit them. And we hit them with success. And they're like, Kiera, it's magic because those are numbers that we never believed we'd be able to do. but you break it down so simply. You help us set these realistic goals. You look at our schedule, you look at our providers, you look at the time, we look at what our team can do. We make sure we put our life forward and what we want to be doing so that way we're living our best selves. And you help us set and achieve these goals that we never believed were possible. And to me, that's setting and achieving the life that you never believed was possible. You always hoped it would be, but we help you achieve that. And so those are three areas that I really feel that consultants can help you either thrive even more or go from surviving to thriving. And like I said, I am so passionate that we built different models for different practices. So if you're a newer practice and you're like, we're just starting out and our budget's not as much, phenomenal. We literally built a program that takes you through the systems that you need, that gives you weekly access to consulting where you can literally come on and ask your questions and send your team, because I'm so adamant that we're going to coach your team and we're going to coach the doctors and we're going to teach you to take care of you, to have a profitable practice, and to have systems that are dependable so you have predictable success rather than hoping and wishing for success. So if you're brand new, there's an option for you and there's a great space, and our community is so incredible and people just love it. If your practice is like, hey, we're a little bit beyond the fundamentals, we're not this newer practice, we want to have more one-on-one help within our practice, phenomenal. We coach your team, we do coaching calls with you, and we bring you in person to work on your practice and on your life to make sure that you're getting what you need. If you're like, hey, we want some help in our practice, we want you to come to our office, amazing. We have options for that, because I believe that consulting isn't a one size fits all. I believe that a practice is not a one size fits all. I believe that a life is not one size fits all. I believe that you know where you want to go. And I believe that with a great coach and a great consultant beside you who's been there, done that successfully over and over and over again, you truly can have whatever you want. And so I just wanted to pop on and give you guys some resources. Or you're looking at the end of the year, whether it was your best year or whether it was one of your hardest years, there's solutions. And I truly believe that like the greatest people of all time, they have a coach and they have a mentor next to them. They have someone that's going to push them. They have someone who's going to grow them. They have someone who's going to work with them, someone who's not going to give up on them when the hard times are there, someone who's going to guide them, someone who's going to help their team grow and thrive. And if that's what you're looking for, I'd recommend looking into consulting and seeing, is this an option for you? At Dental Team, I want to give you so much value. And so whenever people schedule a call with us, we look at your practice and we give you value. So even if you're not a perfect fit, you're going to leave with great resources, and we're going to direct you to someone who can help you. If you're a great fit for us and you're someone who's growth minded, you're someone who's committed to success, you're someone who wants to grow your team and wants to grow you, you're a great fit for Dental Team. And if you're like, gosh, I just don't even know what consulting's like, I encourage you to just make the call. It's not going to hurt to get on a call. It's not going to hurt to figure it out. It's not going to hurt. The pricing can be anywhere from as low as like $12,000 a year all the way up to $50,000 a year. There's variable pricing throughout, but I promise you, every single one of those dollars that you put in is going to come back to you in ROI of systems, of decreased overhead, of increased profitability of your practice, of better case acceptance, of reduced errors on billing, of higher collections. So it's this crazy thing that is one of those best investments that's going to give you a guaranteed ROI on your investment. And for me, when I'm looking at investments and I'm looking to see where I should invest my money, investing in my team, investing in myself, and investing in a way that's going to give me a guaranteed ROI is where I bank. And so I would invite each of you, if you're thinking about it, if there's consultants that are there that jive with you, I gave you guys a way to interview a consultant, to look for them. Do you vibe with them? Have they been there? Have they done that successfully? Have they done it successfully in your shoes? Do they understand your practice? Do they understand your team dynamics? Have they worked? We work all across the nation. We work in rural towns. We work in the heart of DC. We've got consultants from all over the board. We've got doctors on our ambassador team that help us with doctor issues. We've got an incredible thriving doctor community that works and helps each other. We have brilliant people that have MBAs and different pieces in business. We have hygienists, we've got dental assistants, we've got regional managers. So the plethora of knowledge within our consulting is insane. And so being able to be a part of that community where your questions get answered on a 24/7 basis, where you have direct access to consultants who know how to grow you and your practice, where you're able to truly grow and grow with everybody that's around you and you're around like-minded people, because I believe that proximity is power. And when you're around people that are thriving and you're around people that are succeeding and you're able to pick their brains and be able to learn from them, that's how we elevate. I purposely joined Tony Robbins' highest level of consulting because I wanted to be around those people. And what's crazy is every time I'm around them, I grow and evolve to the next level because they share tips with me. They inspire me. I ask them how they're doing things and they share. And that's what we've created for dentists. So if you want to be a part of it, I'd love to have you reach out, hello@thedentalyteam.com. Go on our website, thedentalyteam.com, book a call, whatever it is. But whatever you choose to do this year, invest in you. Invest and commit that 2025 is not going to be happenstance success. It's going to be guaranteed success. Let's find a way to get you that guaranteed success. And whether it's us, another consulting company, another ROI, I don't care what you choose, but make sure you do something different to ensure success for 2025 rather than hope for it. These are 3 ways that a consultant can help you go from thriving to even higher, or from surviving to thriving, whatever end of the spectrum you're on. Whatever it is, there's a solution for you. I think check our egos. It's hard. It's hard to ask for help, but it's one of the greatest things. And once you enter the world, you realize no one's there to judge, especially in Dental team. My rules are no judgment. Come as you are, show up, add more value, and make sure that you're committed to getting success and that we don't give excuses. If that's who you are, come and be a part of it. I'd love to have you. And if I can help in any way, always reach out. hello@thedentalyteam.com. This is your life. This is your practice. Your team needs you. You need you. Your patients need you. And you deserve the best of the best. So go for it. Let's make 2025 the best it can be. And as always, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Team Podcast.